Welcome back, Alpha Warriors. I hope you're having a good day. I'd like to give a shout out to one of my viewers, Chateau Melon. I appreciate you. Thanks to him, I am putting a playlist together, and so you can find this under my playlist. Wonderful idea. I've just been so busy. I've been doing so much for so many people, including myself. Um, Trying to get things done, trying to help my community that totally eluded me. But I put a playlist together, and when I got to a certain part, I realized I had to do a redo of pages 64 to 68. I'm really sorry, guys. I try to go to the beach. I try to go to the park sometimes. It's been harder lately because it's nice and quiet indoors. So sometimes I like to do a vid indoors. That way you can hear what the heck I'm saying. I try to give you a little bit of visual too. And I'll continue to do that within reason if I find quiet areas because, I like making my videos a little funky for you. But I really appreciate it, and I would so be doing more of these videos. It's just, you know, um, people donate to what they want to donate to. PBS used to do Reading Rainbow, but they used to also rely on the contributions of the viewers, right? People would donate to them. And on this channel, I don't get donations like that at all for doing this. I thought it was something that people could get behind and think it was cool, that it was like, free public book reading, and it will always be on the internet for whoever. And I'll get a little better with it. I used to have intros. My intro merging software is a pain. Now they're asking for money. Of course, it was free before, so I'll try to find another one. But for now, this is what I'm doing. So thanks to that awesome viewer. I appreciate you, Chateau Melon, for giving me that idea. And so this is in honor of you giving me that idea. And for the people who do appreciate this, I at least will finish this book. But a few people appreciate it, but it takes time and energy. And I do nonprofit efforts. I clean up my streets. We have homeless people here. I teach holistic medicine. So it would be nice if people contributed, but they haven't really been on here. I've noticed with donations on certain channels, a lot of it is a popularity contest. Usually, people already with a lot of money get the most donations. People who are already seemingly doing well. So weird how people think, or if they're single, or there's just like weirdness with it, or if they shame their audience. So I try to just put it out there like, hey, if you guys can, if it's in your heart. I'm like so laid back. I don't even like, you know what I mean, asking, but at the same time, if you're working on your nonprofits, you have to do a little bit of your own fundraising, right? So I'll put the link to Dia Dash. That's my PayPal, because I also have a Dia Dash channel, which is also set up as a nonprofit. Alpha 7 is my media station, and people seem to like that for the movies and the whatnot and some of my videos, but it's just hit or miss on here, guys. I can't please them all. So for the real ones, we're going to redo those 4 pages that you couldn't hear because it was super, super windy. So for the real ones, I'm going to redo this because it starts off with doublespeak in medicine. And I'm not sure, I don't want to cheat you guys. So I'll start here so it's succinct. Okay? The best schools are up on all the latest theories in education. First, you should remember that the very best schools aren't schools at all, but primary or secondary educational institutions, where empirical, rationale, normative re-educative, or power coercive strategies of learning address the situational parameters through a variety of implementation approaches, taking into account multidisciplinary methodologies. In an eco-cultural framework, as educators develop brain-based programs of content specificity. Dedicated teachers, while worried about the burden of excessive horizontal job enlargement, will still engage in a healthy interface in a dual communication mode of highly interactive student-oriented teacher methodology designed to promote and enhance a child's learning style in life coping skills. Teachers have learned to translate the doublespeak of education, educational researchers, administrators, and public officials. When the Illinois Board of Higher Education said internal reallocation, institutional self-help, negative base adjustment, productivity increases in personal services, teachers knew that the board meant budget cuts. Teachers knew also that financial exigency meant layoffs, and institutional flexibility meant administration can do whatever they want without consulting the faculty as to the effects of their decisions will have on the quality of the education offered to students. And deferred maintenance meant not doing needed painting, cleaning, and minor repairs, while substantial deferred maintenance meant not doing major repairs. In Rochester, New York, a memorandum was sent to all teachers in Independent School District number 535 in 1983, offering staff development workshops for those who are considering or who would like to investigate a change of careers. The workshops were designed for those teachers who were being laid off and to encourage others to leave the teaching profession voluntarily. That's one way to develop the staff. The school board in the Cleveland, Ohio school system did not lay off 141 administrators in 1982, it non-renewed them. They non-renew the contracts. Whenever teachers turn, they are confronted with doublespeak. A research report published by the Educational Testing Service in 1985 on how children learn to read said that the children's preference for strategy was most clearly evident that they were near the limits of their capacity and needed to allocate their resources to optimal advantage. The Wharton Executive Education Program at the University of Pennsylvania, Wharton School of Business, does not profit but runs a negative deficit. Educational researchers write of knowledge-based possessors and knowledge-based non-possessors. When Texas passed a law in 1985 preventing students who have grades of F from participating in such extracurricular activities as football, Eddie Joseph, president of the Texas High School Coaches Association, said of such students, "They're not failing, they're deficient at a grading period." Doublespeak permeates all areas of society, so there is no reason why education shouldn't be infected as well. However, education doublespeak is particularly depressing because more than anyone, teachers should be aware of doublespeak. They should be leading the fight against doublespeak by teaching their students how to spot it, how to defend themselves against it, and how to eliminate it in their own writing and speaking. Unfortunately, too many in education have found that using doublespeak can advance their careers and their pay. For shame, guys. So they have decided to give into it. This one should be interesting. Doublespeak in medicine, which it was because this is my second time reading it. So I'm glad we're somewhere quiet so you can listen in on what it's saying. You may have a gallbladder operation, but to the surgeon, it's a cholecystectomy. You come down with a cold, but the doctor calls it simple acute rhinitis or coryza. You have a black eye or a shiner, but the doctor calls it hematoma of the eyelid. Medical doublespeak? No, not at all. Just because the doctors talk in that technical language. I know, that's how they gotta pad the pocket. If it's too simple, right? You already know. Let's see. Of theirs doesn't mean they're using doublespeak. The foregoing examples are simply precise medical terms, and there's nothing wrong with them as long as doctors use them amongst themselves. But there is plenty of other language used in the medical profession. That is pure doublespeak. After developing a new machine that uses sonic waves to crush kidney stones, researchers at Massachusetts General Hospital call the machine the extracorporeal shockwave litho. Oh gosh, guys, it's a little much for kidney stones. Did you know apple cider vinegar could help with that very nicely? Lithotripter. Sounds pretty invasive, which makes you want to ask if this tripter was necessary, right? Then there's the article in the American Journal of Family Practice that calls fleas, that's funny, hematophagous arthropod vectors. Try using that in the song My Dog Has Fleas. If you leap off a tall building, you will, in the words of the medical profession, suffer sudden deceleration trauma when you hit the ground. Strange word, deceleration trauma. In today's medical doublespeak, aging is called cell dropout or the decreased propensity for cell replication. There are hospitals that don't treat sick people anymore. Instead, the patient is called a compromised susceptible host. At Madison General Hospital in Madison, Wisconsin, members of the clergy who are on the staff belong to the Human Ecology Department, while janitorial services are performed by the staff of Environmental Services. At Memorial Hospital in South Bend, Indiana, the shop for wheelchair repairs is called the Assistive Devices Resource Center. In another hospital, the sign posted over the microwave oven in the nurse's lounge lists the rethermalization times for different foods. Patients aren't constipated anymore. They just suffer from wheelchair fatigue. or an alteration in self-care ability, or an altered elimination status. Hospitals don't treat VD for venereal disease or even STD for sexual transmitted disease. They treat STI for sexual transmitted infection. No one is addicted to drugs these days. Now, it's just a pharmacological preference. If you're not sure whether the problem is alcoholism or drug addiction, you can just use the term chemical dependency or substance abuse. Researchers talk of the pharmacological reward that cocaine induces. Maybe Timothy Leary double-spoke it better when he said he preferred to call the war on drugs a war on neurotransmitters. With language like that, he should go far in the medical profession. Even psychiatry is getting in on the act. Now, the language of psychologists and psychiatrists has always been pretty bizarre, but just when we catch up on to one of their terms, they change it. Take, for example, neurosis. Psychiatrists no longer use the word. Has it become a dirty word? No, says Dr. L. Spitzer. It's not. It's just not a very salient concept anymore. Instead, psychiatrists speak of vulnerability. So some of us are simply more vulnerable than others. Interesting. Medical doublespeak is often used to make something ordinary sound complicated. After all, it's easier to charge those big fees if what you're doing sounds really difficult. After giving President Reagan a routine physical examination, Dr. Daniel Rouge said that previously documented decrement in auditory acuity and visual refractive error corrected with contact lenses were evaluated and found to be stable. That sounds a lot more technical than saying the president's hearing and eyesight haven't changed since his last examination, and he doesn't need new contacts or a stronger hearing aid. Operating on President Reagan after the president had been shot, Dr. Benjamin Aaron said he had located the bullet lodged in the president's lung by very concentrated tactile discrimination. In other words, let his fingers do the walking. When the president went a medical examination in 1988, he was given a pain-killing drug and a sedative. When asked if the president had been unconscious during the examination, one doctor said no, but such patients are generally in non-decision-making form for 2 or 3 hours after the injection. In 1982, it was reported that a Supreme Court Justice William Rehnquist had, under a doctor's prescription, been taken a sleeping pill called Placidil for severe back pains. When doctors cut the dosage he was taking, Rehnquist suffered severe, you already know, withdrawal symptoms, including some peripheral distortions and hallucinations. Dr. Dennis O'Leary of the George Washington University Medical Center said, however, that Rehnquist had not been addicted to the drug. Addiction is a buzzword, as you know. It carries a negative connotation. Rather, Dr. O'Leary said the drug had established an interrelationship with the body such that if the drug is removed precipitously, there is a reaction. In the doublespeak of the medical profession, hospitals that are in business to make money are called proprietary or investor-owned. Hospitals and doctors don't charge for their services, but ask for reimbursement. Radiology and orthopedics are called product lines, and those services that require physical contact with patients are called high-touch products. Patients are called consumers. Patients who pay with private insurance are called retail customers. And getting patients is called patient accrual. Any medical treatment that requires cutting, puncturing, or jabbing is called a procedure, as an invasive procedure for surgery, while treatment requiring talking, thinking, or counseling is called a cognitive service. See, guys, I'm providing you a cognitive service. Even general medicine is a specialty now. The big word in the medical profession these days is wellness, as in patient failed to fulfill his wellness potential. A notation made by a doctor on the hospital chart of a patient who had died. The University of California, Berkeley Wellness Letter defines wellness as optimum physical and mental health, a positive ongoing approach to a robust lifestyle, a preventative way of living that reduces, sometimes eliminates, sorry for the noise, guys, it's the city for you, the need for remedies. I know, even in the city, loud, loud, loud. Last paragraph, because we have made it, my friends, to the end of 68. Doublespeak can and is used to avoid those harsh realities the medical profession prefers not to acknowledge. At Creedmoor Psychiatric Center in New York, a mental patient in a straitjacket died of inappropriate physical abuse, said Irene Platt, acting chair of the New York State Commission on Quality of Care for the Mentally Disabled. Don't you wonder what might constitute, right? What might constitute appropriate physical abuse? This is a near and dear topic to me. I know people who work in rehabilitation homes. I've heard horror stories. I'm not friends with any of those people. I just know of them. And I hear with some of these rehabilitation homes with young people, even minors, when they supposedly get too hyper or too upset, they literally restrain these children in these institutions, right? Yeah, I hope they are released from those places. I don't like any of that. And of course, they have a lot of soft language to hide their abusive tactics. So let's just keep them in mind. So I'll finish the sentence up here so I won't leave you hanging. Medical doublespeak can have political and moral implications, as well as life and death consequences. In his 1987 book, And the Band Played On Politics, People, and the AIDS Epidemic, Randy Shilts discusses AIDS speak, a new language forged by public health officials, anxious gay politicians, and the burgeoning ranks of AIDS activists. Shilts points out that AIDS speak was designed to be politically facile and psychologically reassuring. AIDS speak goes to great lengths never to offend the moral or political sensibilities of the public, politicians, and members of the gay community. AIDS speak never refers to AIDS sufferers as victims. They're called people with AIDS, or PWAs. That unpleasant word, promiscuous, becomes in AIDS speak sexually active because gay politicians decided that the word promiscuous was judgmental, and AIDS speak could never be judgmental. The most used phrase in AIDS speak is bodily fluids. an expression that avoids troublesome words like semen. I know. That's the problem. That's how they hide a lot of evil, is with soft language. So I'm trying to break the spell in my own capacity. This is from the book Doublespeak, From Revenue Enhancement to Terminal Living: How Government, Business, Advertisers, and Others Use Language to Deceive You. I'm not being sponsored. This is just something I was led to do. And if you're led to help out, I would so appreciate it. I will make sure it goes to a good cause. And again, this is, it takes time and energy. I've been going at it for, it's almost 26 minutes now. And I'm going to let you go because my phone only lets me record for so long. And this is by William Lutz, so and you're open to buy it, the book yourself. But this is for my own personal library. And if anything, this will help me put it on the internet for future generations, to just click. And if you can stand my voice, I'm sorry it's scratchy at times. I don't have any water near me, and just to freestyle this stuff. So I appreciate the wonderful viewer Chateau Melon for giving me that idea. So this is a redo, pages 64 to 68 of this book, Doublespeak, because when I recorded it the first time, I was at the beach, super windy, and the wind was like the star of the damn show. You could not hear what I was trying to say, and those couple of pages were really important. We learned a lot just reading from that, right? So I'm going to put this, all of these videos pertaining to this book in chronological order. I labeled a public playlist. Just go to my playlist. It's called Doublespeak Book.